How to avoid scams with Instagram influencers. So the main thing that you're going to get scammed, I mean, there's two different ways you can get scammed, I would say. The first one is you pay for something, you pay for the shout out, and you don't actually get anything. They weren't who they said they were. They don't actually own the account. So it's nice. I mean, one way you can do that, avoid that, is DM them to make sure, have them message you from the account. That's one way. Another way to avoid that is just going through a influencer marketing platform that would have previously vetted the influencers to know that they actually do own the accounts that they say they own, and then you can work with them directly from there. And another way you can avoid scams is actually just to very simply pay through credit card, pay through a method that has payment protection, so Visa, MasterCard, American Express, etc. Or pay through PayPal is fine too, except as a vendor or as a merchant, I really do hate PayPal. So those are some of the ways you can avoid scams. Or the first type of scam, which is just you pay for something and you don't get what you paid for. Pretty straightforward stuff. Now the second part is generally through engagement. So a lot of influencers are going to buy followers. So as you see here, this influencer here has 20,000 followers. I just punched in Toronto in the search bar and this came up. So just a completely random page. I'm not really sure. Models, I guess, of some sort. 20,000 followers, and it looks like these are new posts, I believe. So let's see. 5 hours ago. Not really good to engage with, or not good to judge by a recent post, but maybe like 7 days ago. Okay, right there. So 200 likes on, so about 1% engagement rate, which is pretty low. Although what you're going to see is once you hit that 100,000 follower mark, is engagement really starts to drop off. So with an account with 20,000 followers, it should be getting like an engagement rate of, I would say, 2 to 5%. Whereas someone with a I don't know, let's say 500,000 followers, excuse me, would probably get an engagement rate of maybe 2%, 1%, and it'd be normal. Whereas this with 20,000 followers getting 1%, it's not really normal. And we'll get into that with some other accounts we're going to look at. So another way, so one of the ways, as I said, is followers. So I mean, you can tap now on the web platform of Instagram. You can actually view the followers. This is a new feature. You used to have to go to your phone and go through the Instagram app to check the followers, but you can tap through those. They're sorted by newest. So this guy was the latest follower, Kent. Whereas down here, older. So if you scroll down through 500 or so, you might be able to find some fake accounts that follow a lot of people and have no followers or very few followers, and then maybe like 9 posts or something, or 6 posts, or no posts, or maybe no profile picture or spammy name. Those are fake accounts, of course. But the easiest way is really just to look at, like we were saying, the engagement for likes. But as you get to bigger accounts, now let's swap over here. Bigger accounts, you're going to notice that there's going to be comments that start to come in. Comments are not that popular unless it's like a comedy account where people like to tag their friends and stuff like that. Pictures of landscape and stuff is not really something that people tag their friends in. Like, unless you're a fellow photographer and you're like, hey, James, look at this shot of the CN Tower. Like, isn't this the greatest edit ever? Like, you kind of looks like your shot. Like that's the kind of stuff they would tag their friends in. But as you can see, like only 14 comments. There's still not that many comments, but that's kind of normal. You're gonna start to learn that there's a kind of a ratio of comments to go off of from followers. Even though I gave you an ideal ratio for likes, what I'm saying is you shouldn't really rely on likes. Comments are basically tougher to fake. So you can buy likes. Anyone can buy likes for a photo. And that's what a lot of these accounts do. They buy more likes so they can charge more. And they buy more followers so that they can charge more. But where you can really tell the engagement true from or real from fake is by looking at the comments. So comments can be they can be fake. You can get people to comment on your photos. Generally emojis or simple comments that say like nice or great or awesome, like single word responses or single emoji responses generally signify fake comments. But I mean, there's going to be a lot of these accounts that just, like, we're going to get at what you're seeing on your screen now. You're seeing emojis right now, so you might already be thinking these are fake comments, but they're not. So a lot of these accounts, what they'll do is they'll post on each other's account a comment because it actually affects the Explore tab. So if these accounts here, if they actually comment on each other's posts, even if they're not working together, they'll they could be working together. They're probably just like kind of networking between influencers. So if they comment on each other's posts, for example, we have here, do you guys see the MS Motors here? They left 3 bomb emojis. So they're doing a favor to Cars Without Limits. So Cars Without Limits post a photo. MS Motors, if they leave a comment on this photo, then the followers of MS Motors, if they go on the Explore tab, maybe not necessarily at the top. It's really going to depend it's going to change between follower to follower. Based on their relationship with the account, etc. But what's going to happen ideally is the followers of MS Motors will see on the Explore tab Cars Without Limits near the top of their Explore tab. So they're going to see this. They're going to see this black Porsche. The person that's commenting is actually kind of sending their audience. It's not costing them anything. They're just it's kind of a free bonus. So if Cars Without Limits goes back and comments on MS Motors, just an emoji, a plain emoji, they actually, Cars Without Limits will reciprocate. Their followers will see on the Explore tab MS Motors' new post, whatever they post. So anyways, that's just kind of a side story there, just about how these accounts kind of interact and cross-promote each other quite easily. And it really costs nothing. They're not resharing anything. They're just leaving a comment. So little glimpse there in case you didn't already know that. But that's kind of how the algorithm works on the Explore tab. There's more features and more factors, but that's just kind of one quick method to grow, cross-promote. So it's important to distinguish just that these accounts will do some of these comments that look kind of spammy, but it really depends more on the profile of the comment, of the people or their profile leaving the comment. So if MS Motors, it's obviously niche. It's obviously fine. Like we can just tell because Motors obviously refers to cars. It's the same niche. But if it was something like, there's someone there above that says Greg Price 1878, which doesn't seem very niche or related. So if there's a bunch of people like that with random names leaving single emoji comments, that's when you start to be kind of like, okay, what's going on here exactly? So you want to check, first of all, how many comments there are, and then you want to check what the comments actually contain, what they're saying. If they're tagging friends, right, we got a pretty good mixture. We got some emojis, we got a couple friends being tagged, we got someone, actually, this Nick guy is actually just leaving a plain sentence, looks like a normal Porsche to me. So it looks like there's some real engagement going on here. So this account is perfectly fine. So here's another page here, an Instagram page, and it has 435,000 followers. The likes is around 13 to 25, 30,000 even. So there's quite a few likes, but what you're going to notice right away is there's a lot of comments. And why are there so many comments? Well, because it's a meme page, and for some reason people enjoy tagging each other in memes. I don't know why. I'm not a psychologist here, but they seem to love 2,000 comments here, and I guarantee they're mostly tags. Look at that, they're all tags. So tags are very easy to fake, but if we take a look and just open up one of these, we notice that this is a real account because it's posting recently. It has a profile picture, has a real name, Jared Dan, has a location here, has a bunch of followers and a bunch of following, and a bunch of posts. So it's obviously a real account. So it looks good. So these are all real, although mentions could easily be faked like that. That's what you call these, is a mention. If you ever see people selling mentions, basically they'll take all these accounts here that are mentioning these accounts, or that are mentioning these accounts. So you basically take a list of people that you want to mention in your post and then provide it to some service provider, and they'll actually go out with their accounts here and tag all these people here. So they're called mentions is the name for it. And what else we got here? We got 1,000 plus comments on all of these. So this is just kind of an extreme example. You're going to find a lot of these meme pages. There's all sorts of them that have tons and tons of comments. Whereas we look at some other accounts, even with similar following, like some of these luxury pages. Type in luxury. There's a ton of luxury pages. Same bracket, right? You're looking at 18,000 to 30,000 likes, but look at the difference in comments. 50 comments and 200 comments and a lot more followers too, right? These pages just really, really lack on comments. Back here again, we got a third of the following, we got the same amount of likes, and we have like way more comments. Like we're talking tenfold, tenfold. Like it's crazy. So it's just a matter of niche. You got to really put that in perspective when you're looking at analyzing influencer accounts and their following, and checking the engagement, checking if they're real, checking if you're getting a good value for your dollar. So what I advise here is I don't want to say that this account is garbage and you shouldn't work with it. I'm just saying that you shouldn't pay it based off of 20,000 followers. You should pay it based off of 1 comment, 0 comments, right? So pay it, it really depends on what you're trying to do. If you're in Toronto, I mean, this isn't really that powerful for, a worldwide campaign, but if you're trying to reach people in Toronto, I mean, I guarantee you there's probably 3,000 to 5,000 guys that are real that follow this account. Maybe 2,000 to 5,000. I don't know. It's hard to really say, but there's still thousands of guys in Toronto that follow this account. So if you have a campaign you want to run in Toronto, I imagine you can get a shout out for maybe $10, maybe. I mean, if it's more than that, I wouldn't pay it, but $10, you can get in front of a few thousand guys. Not that bad, with the targeting and whatnot. I would say that's not that bad. If you get her $5, beautiful, even better. It's just kind of comes down to how do you value your time. You can get value out of this. It's just, if you're the VP of marketing at Walmart, you're not really going to spend time getting shout outs on this account, okay? Whereas this account here, you can kind of get more, the CPM might be best on this, right? The CPM might be best here, but it might not be the best here. Over here, you're kind of, you're probably going to pay, I don't know, you could pay, it's really hard to say, it could be $100, $200. It depends if you just want to mention in the comments, depends if you want a full feature photo, or depends if, how long the photo is going to stay up, a couple hours or up forever, etc. It's all different prices, but, I imagine you're going to be in the hundreds, right? So anywhere from 100 to, high, maybe 500 for a post. It really depends on the account. So like I said, you can pay this account based off of the comments. There's good comments. I would say this account is entirely genuine. It's real. It has, check it out. Great photos. Look at this beautiful photo from a drone outside of Toronto, CN Tower in the background. Everything. Look at the tags. Although it looks like there's a lot of spam. Oh no, never mind. That's the guy that took the photo. So he's featuring other photographers. Very cool. They're doing cross promotion between T Square Media and Toronto CLX. Very cool. Probably post for post exchange. So it probably didn't cost anything, but this is some sort of influencer marketing trade-off. Exchanging audiences, great method. But yeah, the quality is really good. So entirely real. This is the type of account that you would pay a little bit higher amount for. But again, it's only 50,000 followers, but many of them are going to be in Toronto. So if you have something that runs in Toronto, you could get a really good value if you have something to promote in Toronto, like maybe you did some sort of art or some sort of landscape or some sort of, I don't know, you're a local hotel. You own, Hilton Hotels in Toronto or Trump Tower, whatever you own, and you want to promote it. You maybe did a new entryway or something. You have a photographer kind of just take a picture of it. They do lots of street photography and pop it up, for a few $100, get in front of 50,000 people in Toronto. That's a good bang for your buck right there, Whereas if you're, the North Face or some sort of company that offers jackets or something, it's great still, but you're not really taking advantage of the fact that the big audience here is in Toronto. So anyways, good account to buy from. It's not a scam. Now, if you're going after like individual influencers, like micro influencers, like teenage girls or 22-year-old girls or 23-year-old girls, you're going to find a lot less fake likes and followers. So you see here 9,000 followers on photos, around 900 likes, but some of the photos that don't really have the girl in the image are getting a lot less likes. You see here 243 likes, 277, 315, whereas a picture of her gets 740. Right, so again, you want to watch for the comments so you can see, here this one has 8 comments and 3, and seems pretty genuine. If she had 740 likes and no comments, they might not necessarily be real likes, but a few comments, 8 comments, 13 comments. It's quite clear this account is real. So you might pay something like $20 for a shout out on this, or for the right company and the right setup, might be fine to pay maybe $100. So again, this engagement is pretty good. This video is just mostly about going through their engagement and trying to just track down. Again, the main point here is to really look at their followers and then look at kind of build out a ratio with their comments. That's the main takeaway here. And if you really want to be safe, you can go through an influencer marketing panel like this, shoutr.biz/panel, and you can find a bunch of influencers who have actually confirmed ownership of their account. The email address and their username is listed along with followers and all sorts of neat metrics, the niches, the CPM, the distribution of followers, likes, engagement rate compares a 4.7 engagement rate with the industry standard of 6.5 for the niches selected for this account as they're listed there. It also has other things that are broken down, such as It also has other details like the location, the gender breakdown, the age groups, and the follower growth. So if you're interested in that, check it out at shoutar.biz.